Hi, guys. Today I wanted to share some pretty powerful insights on pre-birth memories and how it feels like to enter this reality. And in order to do so, I had to go back to the moment that I was born, literally right before and right after, and what it felt like for that. So I wanted to share some insight that came through with that. I'm going to read from my notes here that I wrote down in my booklet. Now, I also want to say that I have been doing a lot of soul searching and a lot of soul digging over these past few, and I've been unlocking a lot of things. And one of the things is connecting with my own birth DNA, which is basically the purpose of what the insight came through, and then also restoring my soul blueprint and working with that. I also teach this in my DNA healing course, which has everything you need to know on how to heal your own DNA, how to see how powerful your DNA is and what exactly it is, all the information it stores, and how you can actually unlock and restore your own divine soul blueprint. From what I've gotten so far is that this is really the holy grail of spirituality, like restoring and connecting with your own divine soul blueprint is everything that you need to know to go forward in this lifetime. So it's the most powerful tool that I've ever gotten. And it really is a holy grail of your own spirituality. But I want to share the insight that came through just to also show you how traumatizing it is to be in this reality. A little bit of info beforehand, because it's going to make more sense. When I was born in a hospital. So this was not a home birth or anything the way people do it nowadays. Or how they used to do in the medieval ages. But, I was literally born in a hospital. Also, I wasn't born alone. So as some people know, I have a twin sister. She's a few moments older. We share a lot of the same astrology, constellations, and everything. And yet we have a completely different life path, completely different personalities, and we are completely different from each other, which is also why I'm always so critical towards astrology, because we share almost the exact same planets and constellations or whatever you want to call it, but we are completely different people. Like, we couldn't be even more different. And so she was born a few moments before me. Both of us were born not by C-section, but natural birth, which must have been exhausting for my mother. Like, back in those days, no matter when, it must have been just so, even that experience in and of itself must have been a trauma that she must have gone through. And so what I got was, first of all, I received a vision of a baby being born, and that was me. And instantaneously, this feeling washed over me of me not liking it. I did not like that experience one bit. My body was aching and hurting. The doctor that was present was shooting something up my foot. And the only thing it could have been was either one of those vitamins that they give children right away, or one of the what shots that they give children also. And every single time that when I connect with that in and of itself, there's instantaneous trauma. There's always this weird feeling in my foot. So they must have given a lot of shots into the feet of babies back then, maybe even nowadays. I know sometimes they do it in the arm or other body parts, but somehow I always get my foot when I connect with that, and it's always a very traumatizing experience. And I feel the main reason for that is because it's not a natural thing at all. It's literally poison that they're putting in your system. So I got that right away, that they were already trying to poison me and also my twin sister the moment we were born. Also, there was more than one doctor present. So there's actually this whole team present because it was a twin birth, and it was a little bit of a spectacle because they were documenting it and writing down some notes and everything. Like, I guess back in the days for that hospital, it was something special. My mother was feeling overwhelmed and barely alive, really, like barely, as not really like a human. She was feeling like she was literally just this medium or this carrier who was giving birth, who had just given birth. And to me, it felt so tough and abusive here in this reality. I am dreading all the trauma ahead and also the abuse that's yet to happen. So I could already instinctively feel this is a very just low level, low vibe place, just traumatizing place. I was dreading people mistreating me and other people, always having to fight for things in this reality. I do not want to be here. I want to exit right away. It was one of the thoughts I had right away. I want to be gone. It just feels too tough to be here. I cry as a baby like I've never seen a baby cry. I cry tears of trauma, anger, shock, and disappointment. It feels cold and lifeless here. And I'm thinking I already picked up on all the AI in our reality back then. And nowadays it's even way more AI. Just look at every single bit of AI around us, the Wi-Fi, the computers, the this, the that's. But back then there was already so much AI, whether it's human AI, like robotoids and soulless beings, but also just AI in general. Back then they had computers too and all of that. And the thought I had was I want to go back to where I came from right away. I do not see a purpose in being here, and I do not feel connected to the place I was born. It does resemble other places here on Earth a bit, but it does not resemble it enough. And it has the same landscapes, it has the same climates of places that I actually like, but I just do not feel a connection and care about the locals that live in this place or anything really going on in that place. So I cry. And when I got this vision of crying, all the children's pictures and the baby's pictures that you see online, where when a child is born and they scream out of the top of their lungs, right? All of that is so true. And the reason they do that is probably because of this. They don't want to be here. It's completely traumatizing. It's dense. It's heavy. They just don't want it. It's just such a contrast to where they came from. I feel more connected to a different area and even era, but a lot of trauma happened there. And in every lifetime, trauma has happened so far. I feel I was pushed into this reality and I did not want to enter. So that would be another version of volunteering to come here. No, you were pushed into this reality and you really did not want to enter. And probably you were also being pushed during a time that you didn't want to enter. Like I believe some people, they're trying to mess with your own birth dates and astrology and everything. So for some people, that could very well be true. I didn't necessarily get that on me personally. I do think I can work very well with the dates that were given to me, but I do think for some people, especially if some people had, let's just say, a miscarriage, you were supposed to be born on that day, but then your mother had a miscarriage, and so you're born like 9 months later or a year later or 2 years later. So all of those things could very well be true, right? From the screaming baby on the table that wants to roll off and fall down and die, but other people are preventing the fall. So I really got this vision where somehow I was put on this table. I don't know if it was like an examination table, and it felt like my twin was on a different table somehow. So putting us on these separate tables, probably deciding what to do next. I was trying to just roll off somehow. It was like a bit of a weird vision, actually, just to see that. I was trying to, exit myself out of this reality. But that's literally how I saw it. And I'm pretty sure if someone's a mother and watching this, you can maybe even confirm that your own child or children in general might be doing that when they're born. They wiggle around. They maybe just want to fall on the ground or something. So I wanted to fall, but people around me were preventing this fall. This is like the team of staff, like the nurses and doctors that were around us. They are keeping me here by doing that. And from all of that, I trace back to my soul blueprint. And for that, I have to enter a different reality. In this one, it feels cold, and I actually have to pull it out of somewhere. And I discuss exactly what happens with that in my soul blueprint version of the DNA healing course. But basically, it feels easier to just be in the matrix, to get an office job, a 9 to 5, or even let's just say a factory job or any type of job that wants them for us to be in a treadmill, right? They want us to be in their matrix, in this treadmill. It feels easier to get a job like that and to live life according to a script, half sleepwalking. Everything else just feels like a battle against the system. Exhausting, tedious, shocking, traumatizing, like a race, like a fight against us. It's a constant fight against us. Giving up the fight and cashing in on those benefits feels easy. And this is where they want us. They want us to be in their system, to have the 401k, to have the health benefits, the medical benefits, which you don't really need, to be honest with you. If you really know how to keep your body healthy, how to keep your soul, body, mind, all of that healthy, you don't need any of these benefits because you know how to heal yourself. You know how to use the holistic methods and means to heal yourself, but they don't want that. They want you in fear. They want you in these jobs that you're not supposed to even be doing. Like none of these jobs have any type of creative expression, at least most of them don't. And if they do, let's just say you're a copywriter or you're some sort of artistic person in an ad agency or whatever, you're only creating something, or let's just say you're an architect, right? You're only creating something in accordance to their own ideas, not your own. They don't want us to be self-employed, independent with our own careers, our own businesses, to be freelancing, to have our own visions, our own artistic expressions, to have our own companies. They don't want us to have any of that. And they really try to keep us down with a lot of this. And just by even recording this video, I had to restart it like 3, 4, 5 times because every single time they were throwing one weird distraction at me or another. And so with all of this, they just try to make us feel so miserably that we either have to go back into the reality that they want us to be, or we're never going to be where we really want to be. It's just going to take forever. It's always going to be a constant fight. Some people are never really going to make it or never going to see the results that they want, or it's just going to be so tedious and so hard to fight against the system that some people just give up and they just go back to what they know. And that is in the system. They want you with the benefits, with the this or that. I'm not saying benefits are bad, you know, like for some, it can be a great way to live. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to go from the moment you're born into a kindergarten system, into a school system, into a high school system, into a university or an apprenticeship, depending on where in the world you are. From there, you're going to go until age 65, 67, or 70. You're going to be working, and then you're retired. And when you're retired, you're what? You're too exhausted to think about any of these things. I already see it. You know, I have parents who are exactly at that age right now. They're baby boomers. They are exactly of that generation that's still working, but they're about to re-retired, right? And I already see it in them where they've lived their entire lives and good for them. But at the end of the day, when they retire, they're not going to be able to, let's just say, travel the world, you know, extensively the way you can when you're young because you have the energy to do that. They're not going to really be able to start a new company in that sense because you need the energy for it. You need the focus for it. You need the mental capacity for it. You know, they may or may not do that. There are a lot of sharp people in their 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, of course. But you can do all these things in a way better way when you're younger. Let's just be honest. And I'm not really saying age matters or age does not matter, but in a form or another, age can work against you, especially if you're not keeping your mind sharp enough, which is never taught in these type of jobs, right? Some people are amazing at age, and my own family tree is like that too. You know, I have grandparents who are in their 90s now. They're still very sharp people, but I see it with others who are in their 70s and 80s, and it almost seems like they're about to pass away because they went through the system and then they retired. And then what? What do you really live for? They don't give you a goal or a destination. And that is really the danger with this entire being in a system. And it's a little bit of a rant. I'm sorry about that, but I think you get the point. So I pull out the blueprint. I study it extensively. There's information that comes through with that too. And while I'm doing all of this, by the way, I get that these two guys are astral viewing parts of my baby journey, parts of my connection to the birth DNA. And it almost feels like they're part of the military. I try to cut him off. I try to put a protection around but I feel they just have so many means and methods to monitor us that it's just mind-blowing. Every time I do something like this, it's mind-blowing what comes through. I feel tired and exhausted, and that even the Wi-Fi in my apartment should be off when connecting with these parts of me. It was traumatizing. And a lot of people's lives just feel like we're going through the motions. Then we retire and our youth, freedom, and will is gone. The question is, where was I before entering this reality? And I feel this is the question for another video and just more insight. But I also feel that's why some of us don't want to celebrate our birthdays extensively, because the birth was so traumatizing and we're subconsciously remembering that. Maybe not on a conscious level, but for sure, deep down in our soul and subconscious memory, we still have that. When entering, everything hurt, and it was shocking too. So it was literally like a shock to the system. And that's pretty much what I got.
As humanity migrated around the globe, temples were constructed. Knowledge was passed down through secret societies, all adhering to the code of Hammurabi.
It's a passageway. I'm in a big place. There's columns on the side. It's old. It's taller than it is wide. It's a very tall space. Kind of cathedral-like, but very, very old, ancient. I see at least one big glowing light there, maybe a couple of others. They cast flickering shadows. I hear echoes as people walk in here. It's a big, open, echoey place. It's ceremonial with a spooky feel. I'll tell you what it reminds me of. I went to Notre Dame Cathedral, and the place spooked me. I could feel powers there that were more than I could handle. This has a similar feel. Ancient powers reside here. There's this is a power center. There's powers residing in this place. The term catchment, I don't know what that means. Could be water or catching something else like energies. The burning things, I smell an odd kind of smoke that I don't really smell often. It would be the smell of a torch, like a burning oil that, not burning petroleum oil, but the kind of oil that you would burn in a lamp in the old days, like a oil made from seeds or nuts or some natural thing if you didn't have petroleum. Castor oil kind of thing. And that's providing illumination. So it's dim, spooky, shadowy, has an ancient feel, and like I said, powers. Big place, the cathedral-like place. The high vaulted ceiling, things inscripted, artwork, symbols, important symbology, something like an altar. It's big, high ceiling. In here, a place where people assemble. I won't take the time to draw them, but many, many people that their attention is drawn here. So this is a big place. It's got symbols and inscriptions that have meaning, it's kind of a spooky stone, carved stone. I hear chanting. What are they chanting? Incantations. That's a root word of like songs. But it's magical. It's black magic. It's ceremonial magic. These people come and they're in awe. They're awestruck. It's awesome to them, but kind of spooky. It's a place where spells are cast, and I think the people don't know it or appreciate it. The people that cast the spells know it, but they don't. They're being put under a spell here. They probably got some golden things here. Certainly fine artwork. I don't know if this is the same place and location and time as other things I've drawn. It looks a little different to me. The other one was more of a big cathedral thing, and this, the central thing I see is these columns. They're pillars. Columns. They're structural and ornate, and the architecture is structural and ornate and decorative and symbolic. These have meaning. They put some lamps on them. Again, this feels like a time before electric light. Nothing feels modern here, but a lot of people come here. How do I spell sepulcher? Is that this sepulcher? That has something to do with funerals, right? It's kind of dim and eerie and ominous, probably because of the lighting. I'm used to a brighter, we have LED lights and electric lights and lights, and I think this was a time it would seem very dim to us. It would seem kind of spooky because the lighting is not up to. These people come here not so much because they want to, because they must. It's ordained. It's ordered. It's a obligation. Something's processed here. It's like, could it be their souls? Oh, this is like religion. They think it's one thing, but it's something else. Their souls aren't being saved. They're being processed. And that's the big secret. That's the big secret.